Your grandma didn't die naturally, rah, and if you tell your family, you might be next. Grant Whitaker, her lawyer, hissed that in my ear at the gravesite outside Seattle. I'm Madison Harper. I'd buried my grandmother, Evelyn Carter, and I was still in shock when Grant told me to come to his office alone. That night, the building was dark, except lobby light, and a stranger with dead eyes waiting by the door. You ever get that gut punch feeling your family is hiding something evil? If you were me, would you walk in or run? Comment where you're watching from and hit subscribe if you want the truth. What I found made me ask, am I in the wrong for not trusting them? I didn't even get to grieve like a normal person. At Grandma Evelyn's graveside, while everyone hugged and pretended the world still made sense, I caught my dad, Richard Harper, and his wife, Melissa, standing too close to the fresh dirt. Their voices carried, just fragments, but enough to make my skin crawl. Melissa said, low and urgent, "If we do it at the right time, nobody questions it." Dad answered, "The paperwork has to be done before anyone starts asking." They saw me watching and snapped into polite funeral faces. I told myself grief turns normal sentences into horror movies. But then I remembered the little things Grandma had done lately. Locking a drawer she never locked before, changing her bedroom lock just in case, going quiet whenever Melissa offered to make her tea. Back at the house, the casseroles and sympathy cards felt like props. Dad called me into the living room and dropped a thick stack of documents on the coffee table like he was dropping a weight on my chest. "Healthcare and financial power of attorney," he said. "So we can help you if anything happens." Melissa hovered behind him with that soft smile people wear when they're trying to sell you something. "Sweetheart, just sign where the tabs are." Standard stuff. I scanned the first page and saw a clause about substitute decision-making if I was deemed unable to manage my affairs. The wording was slippery, like I'm sad, I'm stressed, I'm grieving, and suddenly I'm unfit. I asked what it meant. Dad waved his hand. "You don't have to read every line. We're family." Family. The word tasted bitter. I said I was exhausted and I'd do it tomorrow. Dad pretended to understand. Melissa's smile tightened and she touched my shoulder as I left, her fingers cold through my shirt. That night, I locked my childhood bedroom door for the first time and stared at the ceiling, replaying Grandma's last warning in her kitchen. If anything happens, don't let them rush you. The next morning, Melissa handed me a cup of coffee like she was being kind. I didn't drink it. I said I needed to check on Grandma's house. Dad hesitated before saying yes. Melissa watched me leave. Grandma's place was exactly how she left it. Tea tin on the counter, photo albums on the shelf, the air stale with absence. In her bedroom, I found the locked drawer. The key was still where she hid it under that loose floorboard. Inside, bank statements, insurance papers, and a small notebook filled with her neat handwriting. Dates, symptoms, patterns. Tea tasted bitter again. Heart racing after breakfast. Melissa insisted on making it today. I don't feel safe. If I go suddenly, check the tea and protect Madison. My hands started shaking so hard I had to sit on the bed. This wasn't old age. This was a woman documenting something she thought was poisoning her. And she wrote my name like a lifeline. I left with the notebook under my jacket, grief curdling into rage. If Dad and Melissa were innocent, why rush legal control over me? Why did Grandma hide notes like contraband? And why did that lawyer at the funeral look at me like he'd seen this story end badly? In the rearview mirror, Melissa's smile followed me like she owned my future. That night, when the neighborhood went quiet, I drove to Grant Whitaker's office, palms sweating on the wheel, with one question hammering in my skull. If the people who raised me are lying, how far will they go to keep the truth buried? Grant Whitaker didn't waste time once I was inside. He closed his office door, lowered his voice, and nodded toward the stranger from the lobby. "Madison, this is Cole Bennett. Your grandmother hired him months ago." Cole didn't smile. "Your grandma started noticing her herbal tea tasted wrong," he said. "Bitter, metallic. She didn't want to accuse anyone without proof, so she asked me to check quietly." Grant slid a private lab summary across the desk. Most of it was normal herbs. One line was highlighted: an unidentified substance not consistent with the blend. Not a conviction, Grant said, but enough to scare her. My stomach flipped. I wanted to protect my dad in my head. Maybe it's contamination, I said. Maybe it's nothing. Cole leaned in. She didn't think it was nothing. She said if she went suddenly, I was to give this to you. Grant opened a small safe and handed me an envelope with my name and Grandma Evelyn's handwriting. Inside was a flash drive and a note, "Trust Cole. Don't let them rush you. Protect yourself." Hearing her voice on the audio files wrecked me. She recorded symptoms like a checklist: heart racing, chest pain, hair falling out. And near the end, "If you're hearing this, I'm gone. Please don't drink anything Melissa makes." That's when anger finally replaced denial, because Melissa had offered me coffee that morning with the sweetest smile. Cole laid it out bluntly. Dad had debts from bad investments. Grandma's house and her policy were the only real safety net. If control of you gets signed over, he said, they don't need you healthy. They need you manageable. I sat there shaking, realizing the paperwork on our coffee table wasn't help. It was a trap. So we planned. I go home and act normal, soft, grieving, trusting. Grant would review the documents. Cole would set up monitoring to catch Melissa doing what Grandma feared. He warned me the danger wouldn't look dramatic. It would look polite. The next day, I pitched a family dinner for Grandma like I was trying to heal. I suggested driving into Seattle for the big market. Fresh herbs, Grandma's favorite roast chicken, the whole sentimental act. Dad bought it. Melissa hated it, but she didn't refuse. For 2 hours, I dragged them through aisles, asking questions, smelling rosemary like it mattered. Melissa kept checking her watch, irritation leaking through her mask. While we were gone, Cole's team had a short window. When I got back upstairs, my phone buzzed. Cameras were in place, kitchen corner, living room angle. Not perfect, but enough. Then came the part that made me feel filthy. I still had to sign the papers. Refusing would tip them off. So the next morning, I sat at the kitchen table with Dad and Melissa and played dumb. I asked about every clause, made them explain, watched Melissa's patience rot. Dad looked relieved I was cooperating. My pen hovered over the signature line like it weighed 50 pounds. I signed anyway, because sometimes survival looks like surrender. Then I went upstairs, locked my door, and cried into a pillow so no one could hear. I texted my brother, Jake, a casual "love you," and kept him out of it. Grandma's note said he didn't know, and I believed her. That night, I stared at the camera feed on my phone, listening to the house settle. Downstairs, Melissa laughed at something on TV. Dad sounded normal, and that was the scariest part. Evil doesn't always kick the door in. Sometimes it calls you sweetheart and waits for you to drink. The next morning, I walked into the kitchen like my body was on autopilot. Dad was out running errands. Melissa stood at the counter, calm as if nothing in this house had ever gone wrong. She smiled. "Morning, Maddie. You look exhausted." "I didn't sleep," I said. "Want some tea?" "Your grandma's favorite blend," she offered. "It'll settle you." My throat tightened, but I nodded. "Yeah, just like she used to make it." Melissa moved with slow confidence. Kettle, teapot, loose leaves from the tin. I pretended to scroll my phone, but every nerve was watching. When the water started to hiss, she shifted toward the spice rack, half blocking the camera's view. I heard a tiny clink. I stood up. I'm grabbing water. As I passed, I saw it. A small vial in her fingers. White powder sliding into the teapot in one quick, practiced motion. My stomach dropped. Grandma wasn't paranoid. She was right. And she was alone. Melissa turned with 2 cups. "Careful, it's hot." I wrapped my hands around mine, then accidentally tipped it. Tea spilled across the table and onto the floor. Melissa's smile vanished. "Madison, I'm so sorry," I rushed out. "I'm a wreck. Can you make another, please?" Her face hardened for a beat. Then the mask snapped back. "Of course." She made a second cup. This time, I stayed close. The vial appeared again. The powder fell again. The kitchen camera caught it clean. She handed me the cup and watched my mouth. "Drink it before it gets cold." I carried it into the living room and sat across from Dad when he came back. Melissa sat beside him, eyes flicking to my cup like she was waiting for a timer. I forced casual talk until she couldn't stand it. "You should drink," she said. I raised the cup, let the heat touch my lips, didn't swallow. "Tastes off." Her face cracked. One flash of panic, then smoothed. "Maybe it's a new batch." I set the cup down. "Grandma knew," I said. "She left notes, samples, recordings." Dad blinked. Melissa went pale. I pulled out my phone and opened the video feed. Watch. On screen, Melissa's hand, the vial, the powder dropping into the teapot. No blur, no doubt. Melissa lunged. "Turn that off!" Dad stood up, voice shaking. "Maddie, I didn't know..." Melissa screamed. "Liar, you told me timing mattered." I hit send, clip to Cole and Grant. Then I called 911 because my life depended on moving faster than they could. Minutes later, officers flooded the house. Melissa dropped to the floor, wailing that Dad forced her. Dad raised his hands, face gray, whispering, "I'm sorry." My brother Jake ran downstairs, eyes wide. "What's happening?" I looked at him and said it plain. They hurt Grandma, and they were about to hurt me. The cuffs clicked. Our living room became a crime scene. What killed me was Dad's face, more ashamed than surprised. Like this wasn't his first time watching someone get drugged and calling it stress. Melissa tried to rewrite reality in real time, yelling she was helping, that Grandma was dramatic, that I was ungrateful. Ungrateful. After they tried to poison me. If that doesn't make your blood boil, I don't know what will. Drop a comment. What would you do next? And if you're watching this thinking, no way, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss updates. When it was over, Jake sat beside me on the couch, shaking. I held his hand and stared at Grandma's teapot on the shelf, thinking one brutal thing. How many cups did she drink before anyone believed her? Months later, sitting in a cold Seattle courtroom, I watched my father get led away in cuffs, and it didn't feel like justice. It felt like a second funeral. Jake squeezed my hand so hard it hurt, like pain was the only thing that proved we were still here. People kept asking me, "How did you not see it sooner?" And I wanted to scream, because love is a blindfold you don't notice until it's ripped off. I moved to Portland for space, but I kept Grandma Evelyn's house. Not to live in it, never again, but to turn it into something she'd be proud of. A safe place for women who need a door that locks and a table where nothing is poisoned. Every time I set a clean cup in that kitchen, I think of her. So tell me straight, am I in the wrong for setting the trap, signing those papers, and calling the police on my own family? Or was that the only way to survive? If you've ever felt that something's off feeling, trust it. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more stories like this, hit like and subscribe so we can talk again.